7:30 a.m., August 3rd, 2015. My first day of school. Lavender calming mist filling the room. A smart screen subtly playing jazz music. My teacher pouch stuffed with stickers and bubble wands. But the icing on the cake was, my hair was long and blonde. I was setting up to be the Beyonce of the classroom. 7:45 made its way in, and boom, showtime. By 7:55, it indeed was a show. A circus show, to be exact, but I was the clown. 19 kindergartners swarmed the room. Calls of, Miss Langley, Miss Langley, Miss Langley. Tear-stained faces, and I want my mom. Complete chaos. This should not be happening. I'm in a cohort of first-year teachers, and although we've never done this work, we signed up to be the teachers who would work in underserved school communities to take on the challenge of closing the achievement gap for our students. Students whose lives were written for them before they even reached the 3rd grade. But it wasn't that easy. Planning after hours, the anxiety of Monday morning, the stress of being a teacher on top of everything else, and with little to no pay. All that's left was the love that we wanted to do as educators and the resources that were in front of us. There was no amount of preparation that can prepare us for the reality of what it takes to be a classroom teacher. So for me, every day looked, felt, and sounded like August 3rd, the circus show, instead of the classroom. But enough was enough. Enough of paddling on the water, trying to be this superhuman teacher. So I was gonna get me some help. One Saturday, during our planning session, as we were all sitting around the table, Chinese food to the side to give us some comfort, barefoot bubbly sitting right beside us to get some nerves loosening up, I waited. Then the slam of my laptop brought all eyes on me. Am I the only one struggling? Heaviness left the room, and help made its way in. Y'all kids learning, because mine ain't, said Adgie down the table. How are we gonna do this come Monday morning? Said Miss Guthrie. What is happening? Small pockets started forming around the room. We were able to speak about each other's weaknesses, talk about our strengths, and figure out how in the world we were gonna walk into class on Monday morning. And that's when I knew. What was missing in our education system was elevating teacher voices. You see, in education, there's a checkoff list to be this perfect teacher. Get your students ready. This is what it looks like. This is what it sounds like. This is what it feels like. Do it. Teachers can do it all. It's a challenge with so many risks and so many rewards. But it's all coming from those who don't stand at the seat of educators. And that's when I knew. Elevating teacher voices was the key to make it through my first year teaching. I was determined not to fall within that 50% of teachers who quit within their first year. And I did it. I think about Mr. Lewis, who was tall enough to put up a bulletin board, but couldn't get a student to sit down and write his name to save his life. Or even Miss Thomas, who would barge in my room. Lord have mercy, these kids don't listen. How are they supposed to learn? Or even myself, who wanted to be the Beyonce of the classroom, but was failing miserably. But through it all, we did it with the strength of one another. Not through the administrators, not through the superintendents, or even the curriculum writers, but teachers, those of us who stand on the front lines doing the work day in and day out. But that help was not only needed my first year teaching. A sudden desperation of teachers swarmed the nation 5 years later. Teachers to the front lines. They can do this. They're meant for this. They've done it all. We got masks. There's plexiglass. There's colored tape for the students, and we can separate them 6 feet apart. They won't even know it's distant learning. They're on their mini learning islands. Teachers can do this, said administrators, said curriculum writers, and superintendents, all with good intent, but none from the voices of teachers. And yet again, that's when I knew it was time to elevate teacher voices. So I grabbed my mic and I pressed record on my first podcast episode. Teachers are tired. This work is hard. Yes, it's rewarding. Yes, there's risk, but there's so many other challenges that are silenced. Education and educators have been on mute for decades, but it's time to teach out loud. Ding, ding, ding. A viral message of thank you. Thank you. This is the moment we've been waiting for. Finally, somebody said it. This was coming from teachers, people who support teachers, celebrities, news stations, and media outlets. Is this your truth? Is this what teaching is like? Yes. This is teaching out loud. And now 3,000 plus educators tune into that community for help, for strength, and for elevation. And as I stand here, 10 years later, I think about that help and how it kept me going. But I also think about how I can still help. As an education consultant now, I get to walk into classrooms around the nation and see me, who struggle within that first year. But I also see veteran teachers struggling. But I get to open up a seat at the table with help, with strength, with community, and tell them, I see you. You see, there's no boundaries in education. It's evolving every day. So the help is never gonna stop. And so as I get to help, I think about what kept me going in addition to that community. They played Rita Pearson, educational advocate's quote for us. Her TED Talk kept us going on our first day of our cohort session. She said, every child needs a champion. How much better would our world be if we believed that for our students? And I couldn't agree more. Yes, every child needs a champion. But what I'm here to say is that every teacher needs a community. Thank you.